Holy shit, is that motherfucking Kyoko Kirigiri?
No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight. Mukuro Ikusaba. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her. My name is Kyoko Kirigiri.
Okay, now we're talking. Welcome everyone to TWD, the series in which your local idiot puts on the thinking cap for just long enough. After the absolute madness that episode 2 of this series was... Yeah, it's time for the real stars of this show to begin showing up. Today, we put on our gloves and solve mysteries, because it's none other than the beauty of Kyoko Kirigiri, the ultimate detective. Before we get started, thank you for contributing to make this series possible. I've received a lot of positive feedback from comments and people on Discord. I appreciate every single one of you that allows me to keep doing something that I love doing. That being said, the poll for the next character will be in the description, just like last time. In any case, it's time to dive deep into this case. Open the book on my second favorite character of Trigger Happy Havoc's cast. Strap yourselves in, guys. You're about to see a whole lot of green in this video, that's for damn sure. So, Kyoko Kirigiri, a name synonymous with groundbreaking discoveries, memorable quotes, fantastic moments in the story, and... Okay, yeah, we've beaten this horse into the ground and then some more, but regardless, Kyoko is the single most impactful character in the first game, and there is very little evidence to outright deny that fact. While there's a counter-argument that someone like Chihiro could have been a bit more important in the game, which is entirely valid, my baby boy deserves the world, I can't really say I agree, and that's because Kyoko is constantly the one on the spotlight. From the prologue of the game where she tells Mondo to drop Monokuma before it blows up, to Chapter 6 and the incredibly iconic moment in which she bestows upon Makoto the title of Ultimate Hope, you can always count on her to be the character to stand out and live in your head rent-free for most of the time. I suppose I should start at the beginning with her introduction. Makoto describes her face as an iron mask, impossible to perceive. And that made me insanely scared of her, as much as I hate to say it nowadays. And, well, it stayed like that for a good while, until Sayaka's death in Chapter 1's whole case. When she begins aiding immensely in the investigation, but just barely not revealing too much to Makoto, you start to wonder why. She clearly solved it immediately, so why not tell him? And then, it hits you.
Then the one who attacked first was... Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
This brings me to my first point. Kyoko is a pursuer of the truth. She doesn't look the other way, or to how many people the truth might hurt. She just pursues the one single truth. And she aids others in doing so as well. Now, the question is, does this make her an emotionless robot with no empathy for anyone? And that would be a no from me, although we will talk about this point later on. She does genuinely care for her classmates, with Makoto being of particular importance to her as the game goes on. It's not all that explicit, but little bits and pieces do show it. Even so, Kyoko as a character doesn't really grow much until around Chapter 3, when the meaning of the word trust is made apparent to her. Someone who always relied on nobody but herself to survive. Even though it's short-lived, since Makoto puts the interests of Unity in front of his trust for her. Damn it, Makoto, you had one job! A little off track there, but I'm still pretty salty about that. Actually, this helps me out too. It segues perfectly into the word trust, because it's with it that we see both the best and worst of Kyoko's character. Since this is the praises section, let's make like Hero and try to get at least 33% right during this, yeah. Wait, how did this happen again? When I speak of the best of Kyoko's character, her growth stands out a lot. Going from a loner who has no faith nor trust in her classmates to standing together with those who remain is really pleasing to watch every time I either play the game or watch a Let's Play. And yes, I know she only really achieves this because of Makoto's unwavering kindness, but she does get there eventually, and it makes me smile every time. Besides, she can't steal all the thunder from the protagonist every time, right? Above being enjoyable to watch her grow in Danganronpa 1, it makes her appearance in Danganronpa 2 all the more fulfilling, considering she openly trusts Makoto's judgment to enter the Neo World program alongside him and Byakuya to what could very well be a suicide mission. Kyoko's also a person who gives a lot of consideration to all of her actions. She weighs the consequences of what she plans to do way ahead of time, and puts that noggin of hers to good use. This is no better exemplified than after she willingly allows Makoto to sacrifice himself for her sake in Chapter 5.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
While not everything about this is roses, and not by a long shot, the Red Zone will have some really interesting points. The fact that she can acknowledge that she fucked up by not trying to save Makoto is proof of her growth. I'd say that in the first game, that all culminates in a moment of extreme importance in the final trial. Kyoko removing her gloves. Scars of a hidden past she tried to, well, keep hidden from everyone. Her removing those gloves and showing her classmates, actually no, her friends, what her past did to her, is a sign of a person who learned to trust once again. And it's so well done because it's not shoehorned in. It's above all believable. And that all comes to fruition in her own awakening from despair.
I didn't really know my father, so I can't pretend to know what he was thinking. But even if we're just connected by blood, there's one thing I am sure of. He would never want us to abandon Makoto and choose to stay here. I can't explain why exactly. But if I'm sure of anything, I'm sure of that. Just because we don't actually know anything, does that mean we can't understand? Could it be that... No, never mind. So, Makoto, I don't think you wound up at this school because you had good luck or bad luck. I think you came here for a different reason entirely. You came here to bring down the ultimate despair. You came here to confront despair without ever giving up. And if that's true, I think we could call you the ultimate hope. What do you think?
It's such a powerful moment that truly solidifies every single character that survived the carnage, but Kyoko above all. It makes me feel goosebumps every time I see it. It never gets old.
Makoto.
It's goddamn brilliant. Superb even. An example of writing genius, and a setup for very similar characters in this franchise down the line. Whew, that was all the praises. How far are we in the video? Oh. Yeah, so I may understand why people call Makoto a bottom now. Let's just go over to the critics section. I promise it won't be nearly as long. Let me start by saying this. Most of what I'm about to say is what I consider to be either a necessary evil or growth pains for Kyoko's character to shine as brightly as I mentioned in the previous section. But that does not really excuse any of them. They still exist, and make Kyoko seem a little less nice. Starting with something I said I'd mention again, her emotionless attitude in the early game. It does get a little jarring that she basically seems to not give a shit about anything but solving the mysteries of the school. Even though there's little hints throughout the game that it's really not like that. Oh, for fuck's sake, could you at least care a little? Sorry, it pisses me off what lack of trust can do to a motherfucker. I guess all my mild complaints about Kyoko's character really all revolve around this one point, one way or another. Because it's also the origin point to the single most selfish action she ever performs in the game. I did say that the word trust and its meaning really bring out both the best and the worst of Kyoko. I talked about the best extensively, as I'm sure someone's gonna point out in the comment section, but the worst is not worth ignoring in this case. Yes! Yes, you did! After all he did for you, you abandoned him. And while I understand that your death immediately means game over for the group, it's jarring that you couldn't muster at least the strength to thank him for his sacrifice until after his execution. And yes, the line I showed in the praises section could be seen as a genuine apology, but it tastes sour when Makoto's, you know, about to fucking die! It really pains me to talk about this girl like this, especially considering these are all really only problems she has in the first game. But it needs to be addressed, unfortunately. I pride myself on being as impartial as possible. Even Chihiro's video is gonna have this section, so I can't really give Kyoko special treatment, even though I love her character, from her design to her traits. That said, I don't think I can find anything else to latch onto for this section. My one main complaint was how she acted cold and emotionless, but that gets fixed by character development. And even her willingness to let Makoto die just to keep her alive has been addressed. That which I believe to be the gravest of offenses in her record book. Other than that, there's not really anything I can confidently say made me dislike her at certain points. It's like I said, from the moment she told her name in the introductions, it was clear that Kyoko Kirigiri would have her place secure in my favorites. The antithesis of Ifumi's video. A long-ass praises section and a short-as-hell critics section. It's almost like I like Kyoko or something. Well, since we're essentially wasting time here, let's just jump to the conclusions, yeah? Kyoko is my second favorite character in this game for a reason, guys. She's not perfect, heavens no. Anyone who played the game can tell she has flaws. But compared to what she accomplishes in the game and the positive traits she has, her flaws are minuscule. Wow, it's crazy! Okay, but in all seriousness, Kyoko isn't exactly a consensual character, but a lot of people like her for the reasons I stated earlier. I just happen to be one of them. And even in Let's Plays where the person playing didn't like her at first, Chapter 6 made their opinion slightly more positive, mainly due to the action she undertook in the trial. So the question I ask is Kyoko Kirigiri a good character? Well, duh! Now, if you were to ask, is Kyoko Kirigiri overrated? Well, let's just say things could get messy, but I personally don't think so. The way she was written can't make me say she's overrated because I truly believe it was a stroke of genius. I do understand if you guys consider her overrated though. Like, I do like to reiterate, opinions are to be respected, especially in this day and age, where that concept seems to have been forgotten. In the end, Kyoko is one of those characters who people immediately relate with this series, and there's a reason for that. I wanted to talk more about her ever since the top 10 came out, and this series gave me the perfect opportunity to do so. This is the first of a couple of characters like this from Danganronpa in Your Turn to Die, a catalyst for change within our Egg Boy protagonist. The friend making sure most people have a chance to survive. The detective who learned to trust people again. That and much more weave the intricate webs of traits and quirks that describe the absolutely magnificent character of Kyoko Kirigiri. Thank you for watching this new installment of TWD, everyone. As I said at the beginning, I really have all of you who tune into these to thank for the series continuing, as well as all of your positive feedback. As for Kyoko, it was always gonna boil down to a video mostly in the green for her. I've never had my fondness for this character, even as far back as my Let's Play of this game. Once again, the poll for the next character will be in the description of the video, so make sure to make your voice known and vote for who you want to see next. Other than that, we're done here. Thank you again for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you are new to the channel. If you want to be notified of future uploads like this one, hit the little bell. You know what to do. Also, if you want to join my Discord server or follow my Twitch channel for more constant updates, link to both is in the description below. I believe that's all. Stay safe, and until next time, peace!